How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Senseonics, which ended up having a strong day inside of the market. And many are saying, Dre, we need to get an update video. So you know what? I couldn't leave you guys out in the cold. So we're going to be jumping into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. This is key, especially since many are inside of this play for the FDA approval. And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. We want to know, are institutions loading up on shares and how heavily vested are shorts inside of this play? And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution, where institutions loading up on shares, we could see this through the large scale orders. And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thought. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Senseonics. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.32, being up 10.67%. On the low, it tested $2.97, and then on the high, testing $3.39. Taking a look at the volume stats on the day, we traded at 27.84 million shares, and as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it was at 11.565 million. So we had well above average volume with all of the buying pressure, so we ended up having a green day. When we take a look at our chart, we're using the 1-year daily chart. You can see from the RSI down below, it's right around 57.10. So yes, we are in that overbought territory. Indicators on our chart, we can see we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So as far as resistance is concerned, we end up getting to $3.39, and of course this was met by some selling pressure, and of course in the past this has been an area of resistance as well. So I believe going into tomorrow, if we could pass this 339 area, of course I'm looking forward to seeing a strong move here around 350. Yes, there will be some selling here as well, but if we have a lot of buying volume coming in, preferably I want to see this move going to around just under $3.70, and hey, if we pass it, even better. As far as for the end of the day on the Friday, I would love for us to be able to hold up on the 21-day EMA right here around $3.12. But we know very clear, as far as support is concerned for SENS, we want to see it here right around $3 or around the area where you saw actually start off here around $2.95. So $2.95 or higher is definitely what we're looking forward to. And in regards to that FDA approval, I would not be surprised if we end up getting it and getting to all-time highs. So this is why I want you guys to pay attention to, and if you're thinking about actually getting into a position, just make sure you dollar cost your average your way in. This is a penny stock, so make sure you manage your risk and so forth. But that's all I have for you guys. Let's see what happens tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for Senseonics. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here for the 12th, there's a lot of activity amongst institutions, and of course this is going by their filings. But we can see right up here, right away, a lot of institutions loading up and a considerable amount of shares, especially here at Manufacturers Life Insurance Company, having over 232,000 shares. And even if we go back, taking a look as far as August the 11th, yes, we do have some closed positions, but for the most part, we are seeing institutions have been loading up. So now when we take a look at the short interest information, we can see here scrolling down the page, the short shares availability is at 1 million, updated 14 minutes ago. And as far as for the short borrow free rate, it is at 2.67%. Taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see here for the August the 11th close, it was at 53.67, and for the 10th, it was at 54.70. So it went down a little bit, but one thing this does tell us that Senseonics does have short squeeze potential. And I do know for a fact If we end up having that FDA approval that comes through, it will bring a lot of momentum and a lot of volume into the stock, as well as a lot of FOMO. So we can look forward to seeing a nice move to the upside, and having this high short interest does bode well. But another thing we also can't forget about, institutions are loading up on shares. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Senseonics. So as you can see here on the inflow, we had 18.31, and then on the outflow is at 18.95. As far as for the large side, on the inflow we had 0.19, on the medium we had 12.81, and then on the small we had 5.31. Now on the outflow side, on the medium we had 12.66, and then on the small we had 6.29. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, August the 12th, we had it at 194.12, and on the 11th it was at negative 588, but on the 10th it was at 644.7, and also an outflow day on the 9th being at 715.2. So taking all of this into consideration, what we could see clearly for today, institutions were loading up on shares for Senseonics. So that is great for many who are inside of this play, because you're probably wondering, why would they be loading up on shares? Do they know anything in regards to that FDA approval that everyone's waiting for? Again, a lot of speculation can come out of this, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware of the numbers. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for Senseonics, I'm looking forward to seeing how well it performs inside the market going into tomorrow. We did have a resistance area at $3.39, and I do believe if we had a lot more volume and we had some buying pressure, we easily could have got into the $3.50 level. And this is an area that you want to make sure you keep an eye on. As far as for what we saw today, we had above average volume, and that did contribute to the strength that we actually saw inside of the stock. Also, when we went on Fintel, we see institutions have been loading up on shares as well, and this does give us a bullish signal. Also, seeing as far as for the short interest information, of course it continues to have a lot of short squeeze potential. Just to make sure that everyone is aware here, we are waiting on this FDA approval for their 180-day device. If it ends up going through, of course many are looking forward to seeing all-time highs for Senseonics. So this is why it is very important to make sure that you have a strategy if you're going to be inside of this play, especially if you're going to be doing any swing trades, day trades, and so forth. I got a message not too long ago, I think it was about 2 days ago to be exact, when Senseonics was pulling back. The gentleman got inside of the play and he ended up selling out and losing some money. But at the same time, we have to understand these are penny stocks, they are volatile. You have to be very cognizant of how the stock market is going to be, especially when it comes to sector rotations. So you'll notice, hey, certain stocks and certain industries will start moving up. And this is just a rotation that happens all the time, and you want to make sure that you are not selling during a period while your particular stock is not experiencing this part of the rotation that we have inside of the markets. Just to be more clear about it, so let's say for example, you're seeing as far as for EV stocks, a lot of them are running up. You're seeing a lot of momentum. Whatever stock that you hold, this might be biotech, since we're talking about Senseonics, do not sell your biotech stocks. It's just that the big money is moving off to other sectors. If you're going to be thinking about actually selling your biotech stocks, then you're going to want to wait for that sector rotation to come in so you can get the best value at that particular time. This is very key, and it's something that I feel I really want to make sure that I emphasize with you guys, because these rotations happen all the time, and most of the time when people do sell is when their particular sector is just not having big money flowing in it. And I want to make sure that you learn from these mistakes, and also do your homework, do your due diligence. This is key because it will give you more conviction in the plays that you hold. For Senseonics, we've been talking about it for quite some time on this channel. Many of us had the opportunity to load up when it was in the low twos as well. So even when it did pull back going under $3, it was no issue whatsoever. So you want to make sure you have a solid entry, knowing that support, knowing that resistance, where's a particular area, and also knowing your risk management. If you go into this particular trade or this particular play, what are you looking for, and how much, as far as the downside is concerned is how much you are willing to lose. This is very important, doing all of this before you actually get in trade. I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to make sure I'm clear about this because I want you guys to be successful. And also, depending on the stock of your choosing that you're going to be going into a play with, I'm going to make sure I make this very clear. Please, and I'm going to say this, please look at the other competitors inside of this space. And when you take a look at the other competitors inside of the space, for an example, which is Dexcom, and I also did a video on this, look at their stock prices, look at the current products that they're actually selling, and then compare that to what Senseonics is actually selling. Does Senseonics have more innovation? Have they shown in regards to the PROMISE study, does it actually work? Can it actually outperform the competition for years to come? We know they're working on a 180-day device as far as approval, which is what we're waiting on. And we also do know that they have plans in regards to making a 365-day device. So take a look at these USPs, which are unique selling points when it comes to particular products, and make those comparisons. And if you see, well, you know what? If Senseonics can get this passed, yes, I do see the upside. All I'm trying to say is inform yourself. But with all that said, I'm going to continue to be inside of this play because I do believe in Senseonics, and as far as how much I've invested and in regards to how much I have inside of my portfolio, it takes up a very minimal amount. So again, it could pull back for all it wants, so it won't be a problem for me. But I know for many of you, again, as far as balancing your portfolios, that is the last of your concern. You want to make sure you're hitting these big home runs, but just know the risks that actually come with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be talking real soon.